The representative from Indiana, Mr. Messmer. Messmer is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Ray Fulbert, in your written testimony, you said that states are ideally positioned to support districts in making locally grounded decisions that align with their unique goals. You touched on this during your testimony, but what role do you think states can play uniquely in AI adoption where individual districts might struggle?
Thank you for that question. States are, first and foremost, the ones who set the vision for where things are going within their state, and they do so through deep community engagement and understanding where their constituents are, and that is only more true in this moment around AI. I think states also play a critical data collection role. We saw this with internet access and the differences in the kind of quality of access and the unevenness between what students had access to even within a school setting versus what they might have at home or in after school. And we need to look at that in the same way with AI. We know that students are going to have very different experiences, and we're already seeing that in early survey work, where we're seeing higher socioeconomic status students who have more access to paid versions of AI. Those are important things that states should be looking into and should be collecting data about. The second area that we suggest in ILO Group's framework for state education agencies is the concept of an AI assurance lab. We think states are uniquely positioned to set up a lab that creates public transparency around what tools are being vetted by scientists and researchers from within the state, thinking about bringing task forces with other representatives on it, including having parents and caregivers a part of those labs, and not just doing the approvals on the front end, but also rigorously and often doing more research on the outputs of tools that are approved can help to give people more confidence and just understanding about all of this, and we think is an important role that states can play.
Thank you. Dr. Dobrin, you mentioned that about 25 states have or are developing official guidelines and policies for K-12 AI education. On the whole, do you think these states are rising to the challenge and giving the districts the information they need, or do these guidelines lack specificity and clarity?
Thank you for that question. In regarding what different states' legislation, like I had mentioned in the written, there are about 45 states now that are considering AI. Most of those are not directed specifically at education. However, the trickle down will inevitably be that will affect education. The thing that I think that comes out clear, and I can point to yesterday's Florida Senate discussion in the Commerce Committee about AI, is that the majority of these states are focusing on further research, which is, as my panelists have, other witnesses have noted, that's the important part at this point. We need more data before we make these decisions. So those states that are beginning to really look at what AI deployment looks like, both in workplace and in education, they're the ones who are going to, they're the ones who are going to lead that conversation.
Have there been pretty robust collaborative efforts between states that you've seen?
I honestly don't know how states are talking to other states.
Okay, thank you. You'll back the rest of my time.